Maybe there's somebody in your family that you had a dispute with that now you're ready to reconcile. Start putting them at your table. Start putting them in your home. Start putting them in your life. Even if it's with a picture, even if it's with an empty chair, visualize that.
Welcome to the Lara Jane Layton Show. This podcast is for you, the person who keeps putting others first. Your self-talk has held you back. You no longer need to take a second seat. Let's explore ways to overcome self-doubt. You can silence that inner bully voice and achieve your full potential. Here's your host, Lara Jane.
Welcome to the show, friend. I am here with my new best friend, Judy, and this is going to be an amazing conversation. Judy is the strongest woman. I am so impressed with the things she's gone through and where she is today and life. And Judy's story may be a little bit different than yours and mine, but it's a story we can learn from. Judy happened to be in prison for 36 years for something she didn't do. But have you ever felt caged? Have you ever felt like you can't move, that you're stuck in a marriage or stuck in a job or stuck with all these things to do? Well, how do we get out from behind those bars and free ourselves? So Judy's going to help us with that emotional strength, with those things that go on inside of us. How do we move forward? So let's get a quick word from our sponsor. When we get back, we're going to dive right in. So we'll be right back. Hey, since I rarely have openings in my coaching schedule, I have a new resource out there on my website. It is called the BFF Coaching Network. And I have offered a spot there for any coach that has been on the show to list their coaching. You can go out there, you can listen to their episodes, you can feel a little bit about them, and then choose a coach that will work for you. So LaraJaneLayton.com, the BFF Coaching Network. All right, Judy, help me uncage myself. Help me free myself from all the worry and stress and anger that builds up when I feel stuck.
Hey, well, first, Laura Jane, I want to thank you for having me here. And I want to talk about how a prison doesn't have to be just bars that you're behind. Doesn't have to be a cage you're locked in. Since being home for 7 years from my incarceration, which I was pardoned for eventually by the governor, I've realized that people out here are also in their own prisons made by themselves, or they've allowed other people to make for them. I've worked with a lot of battered women that have been in cages that are so passive they don't have a voice. I've worked with people in agencies and businesses that have allowed their job to cage them and they don't have a life outside of their job, or they take it home with them. But there are different ways to free yourself of that, become a free bird, and love the person that you were created to be. In saying that, there are different steps that I had to take on this journey that I was evidently meant to go on, or I wouldn't have been on it, where I was filled with all kinds of emotions, Laura Jane. We're talking anger, we're talking bitterness, we're talking sadness, we're talking deep depression, because the world that I was placed in was very foreign to me because I was a mother of just a middle-class mother of 2 children that was 12 and 3 years, whenever I was torn from their arms and thrown into a cage for a murder I didn't commit, and my co-defendant was acquitted. So I had a lot of reasons I felt to be angry, to not like the world, not like the judicial system, not like God, or whatever your higher power may be, whatever you feel in the universe brings you that energy that created you to be who you are. So I want to talk about how do we break that? How do we get those emotions to where they're positive energy, to where our life just feels fulfilled and we're not just content or just barely able to survive, but where we can thrive and we love being here. We love the air we breathe. So I appreciate you giving me this opportunity to share the ways that I was able to do this.
I'm really kind of looking forward. I mean, I am looking forward to not even just kind of, but, as you were talking, I'm like thinking, I've caged myself for years of I don't dare step into this thing I'm feeling like doing because someone might not like it. Or, all those fake barriers I put around me. And I mean, you had to deal with physical ones. Did you also have those that you felt weren't why you had physical bars around you? Did you also have a section of emotional bars?
Absolutely. Yes. As a battered woman, I was very passive. I didn't ask questions. I just went with the flow and let decisions be made for me. And those decisions led to my incarceration, which I take responsibility for because I should have paid attention to the red flags. That was my responsibility to do that. I should have been responsible for my own happiness and not expect another human being to do that for me. And I think a lot of people do that.
Oh, you when you said that, you think about, well, I'm going to be happy when. Well, I'm going to be happy when I'm a millionaire. I'm going to be happy when I get a new job. I'm going to be happy. Why wait?
Yes,
It's like, why are we waiting for these wins when I can figure out how to be happy now?
yes. So whenever this happened to me, I had to figure out how I got here, how I got myself in this situation, how I became a battered woman, and how do I get rid of the anger? How do I fight a big judicial system that put me here? So I had a lot of things going on that I had to figure out. So I had to become educated. So if you're in a situation where you don't know what to do, you don't know how to get out, you don't know which way to turn, um, try to look and see what your responsibility was to put yourself there. Because
Oh, I
you did,
love this.
yes, you did not get there um, without you making a choice. You
Yeah.
chose to be where you are today, and you chose to make a turn down the wrong way that caused you to feel the emotions that you're feeling right now. So I had to figure out anger. Anger is a very strong emotion that can cause so much destruction. So, do you want to stay in that emotion and have it affect your body, your mind, your environment, your family, your children? Because I chose to look at it as there's two things you can do with anger. You can either get bitter and stay there, but there's a lot of angry people that don't care that you're angry, that don't care that you're bitter, or you can choose to be better. You can feel great about this anger because it's now going to motivate you into doing something positive.
I used to use the walk back, is what I called it, the walk back method with my kids. When they're like, "Oh, I didn't do anything. It was their fault." It's just like, let's figure out how far back we have to go where you could have made a decision to make that different. So sometimes we don't know until those red flags start to show up, and then you can make a choice. But by doing that, how far back do I need to go? How far, what could it have been my choice? And just real quick, there was a time when my child had a video that like when we had VHSs, at he took to watch with the kids at school. Well, daycare. And he was busy playing. The teacher got it out of his backpack and started playing it for the kids, and he was furious. And they got in a little tiff, and he pushed her, and he had a juvenile record for assault for hurting this woman. It's like, okay, where did this start? Okay, could we have chose a different path here? No, too late. It was already done. What about here? What about here? Okay, in the future, we're not taking any more videos to school. It's like to the point where I had to stop it before I knew it was a problem. So this is something we don't do anymore. And by doing that, you've put yourself into a position where you've made a choice before it happens. How far do I have to walk back? Is it get out of this relationship? Is it not to let this person um, just storm their way into my office? What is it, and how do we prevent it?
So sometimes, like in my situation, I had to go back a lot of years because I'm the oldest of 8 kids. So and we were raised in a Christian home, but yet my mother was a battered woman. It's something back then that was stayed in those walls. You didn't talk about this outside the home. So I had learned behavior right from being a young child. Uh,
Your environment taught you it's normal.
yes, yes. Yeah. So I stayed in one for 12 years. And then my mother got a divorce and got out. And then I thought, well, if she can do it, I can do it. So then I did it. So now my daughter is, which she's in her 50s, has a great, loving marriage. That chain, that learned behavior has been broken.
Oh, that's so
Yes.
awesome.
Yes. So that generational curse, whatever you want to call it, that was, on our family, that women thought they had to be battered and it was okay. It's not okay. And so women, please, and I think you'll agree with me, Laura Jane, that behavior is not okay for you to have to endure that.
Absolutely not. And there are resources out there that can help you. There's battered women shelters all over the place, and they will come and protect you. They are so good at protection. Like we had sent a donation over, and we were stupid. We sent him with a male figure, and
Oh,
you
no.
don't get past security. You don't there's no going in there. So they are very good. You couldn't fake your way in if you didn't have a reason to be there. And so keep yourself safe.
Yes, yes, that's one thing you must do. And take that and grow from it and realize your worth. That's what I had to figure out. I was worth something. So, and I had to learn to love myself before I could actually love somebody else the way that would be healthy. And there's a difference in love healthy or loving not healthy. And once you realize that there's a negative love and there's this positive, great, innate love that you have inside of you, but you have to know that you are worthy of that. And a lot of women do not feel that they're worthy. They feel that they're here just to be created, just to be creative with bearing children, to do the housework, to do, the laundry, and that nobody else in the household has to help with this. Well, yes, they do. It's a family unit. So let's all do what we can to help each other and all be happy.
When you talked about you had to learn to love ourselves,
Mhm.
and that is so important. So, and you can say it and it can be this. I have no clue what that feels or looks like. I know a time in my life I thought I loved me, but I was so critical and judgmental and conditional with the way I interacted that I second guessed and hated so many things about my life. And until I could learn, and I mean truly learn to love the flaws
Mhm.
and the uniqueness and to understand we are all different. You kind of don't get raised to think you're all different. You go to school, you all sit down in the same little chair at the same little teacher, and I am being very specific to the way I was raised in public school. I know there's other options and not everybody goes through that, but we are raised to learn how to please others. You please your parents so that they'll keep you in the house and not kick you out. You please your teachers so that you don't get kicked out. You please other people. And we never learn what that was the wrong word. It's a process to learn to please yourself. And I love that garden story, that song of I went to a garden party.
Yes, I
Like
like this song.
you can't please everyone. So you got to
Mm.
please yourself. And pleasing isn't that selfish. I'm not doing anything. It's doing things that makes you happy. If it makes you happy to share something to share. If but then don't be angry at that person that they didn't reciprocate. You can't live someone else's responses. You only can choose how you are. And that's so refreshing once you get there. And
It
I'm
is.
sure that it's gonna keep growing. I mean, do you feel like you're done falling in love with yourself?
No, I
Mm,
think it's a
yeah,
process,
I think we learn
you know?
deeper and deeper.
Yeah,
It's just like when you have a spouse, you can either get stronger together or fall apart. It doesn't matter. It's what you focus on and what you choose. And
exactly.
we have this shame. Oh, my marriage didn't work out. I'm a failure. No. You guys grew apart. You had different things. You thought you were on the same page. But you go
Mhm.
in different directions and that doesn't work and it's okay.
Right.
It's like drop the shame. Be
Yes,
okay with pleasing yourself.
right. And we do get stuck in that mode of, well, it's my duty to do this because I'm a male or I'm a female. We get stuck thinking that, excuse me, I've got throat thing going on. We get stuck in thinking that this this a certain role model, you have to be for each individual that comes into your life. So you have all these hats you keep taking on and off, and you forget about you. You lose yourself in all of that. And so I decided in my journey of the world that I was placed in, I did not want to be that typical person like everybody else, in that world or even out here. Housewives feel this is how it's supposed to be and we're not, don't know how to change it. No, you have to be the one to change it for you, one step at a time. And so I created this vision board and I put on there the things that I wanted to see happen in my life for me. And so I would just cut things out, of newspapers, or it was very elementary looking because it was made out of the legal pad, back cardboard of two legal pads and taped together. And I put on there commutation, time served, pardon. All that came true. I created this in 2006. I was released in 2017. It might have taken a while to get.
11 years.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. But everything I put New York, book, movie. New York, I went there for my book launch. And I create a book. The universe created this book for me. So vision boards do come true. They're like you're looking at your faith on the wall. And you need to create that because I believe that you're only 6 degrees away from who need to be connected with. Like I needed to get to the governor. So I had to figure out who in that path to the governor could I reach out to that could make that happen. So if you ladies or gentlemen who are in a position where you feel like you're stuck and you're trying to navigate the kids' college, you're trying to get your husband off to work, and you're going to get to work, but you have no other avenues to give you any relief, any pleasure, or the things that make you feel whole. Visualize it, put it on a vision board, and put energy into that. And look at who can get you. Maybe you want to learn how to crochet. Maybe you want to learn how to make pottery. Maybe you want to learn how to sing, or take dance lessons. You know, find things that can get you connected to those areas to where you can pull yourself up out of that rut of nothingness, that your life is just mundane and you don't know how to make it any better than what it already is.
You hear the saying, the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. And it's really greener where we water it. And the way we water our dreams is by paying attention to them. As every time we this is my dream, this is what I want. And it regrounds and waters that intention into your soul. And so a vision board is a way of watering your dreams and desires. As every time you see it, you've now watered it again because it's still something that you haven't just, that was last year. It's like, you can make a new vision board if it's changed. That's okay. But it's that way of keeping it in your mind instead of putting it in the background like this will never happen. And so I'm a complete supporter of vision boards or you and I were talking about my tattoos. I don't know if you have any or not, but these are my intentions. I have one that has a Gibson moon on it, which means appreciation. It's my gratitude. It's the thing that I want to remember, that I'm always grateful for the stuff going on in my life. And so these things are on my body so I remember. They're not for you. They're not for anybody else. But it's so I can look at them and remember what it is I intend. My very first one is a little dove behind my ear. And it was to remind me that peace, that joy, that love, that finding a way of creating safe space for everyone where they can feel at peace, you know? And so it's like, I think I'm doing that. I think that first one I got 15 something years ago is now that safe place, So
Right.
it is. So what is your vision board? How are you going maybe it's a ring on your finger that you'll put on every day. What is it that's going to remind you of what you want in the future?
Right, right. And oh, yes, I'm a big believer in that because I'm getting ready to make a new one because somebody said, well, everything on your vision board came true. As a matter of fact, I just received a gift to Anguilla because it was on my vision board and they happened to see my vision board that was very elementary. And I wanted to ride in a glass boat on the island of Anguilla. And I was given a trip to do that.
Oh,
So,
how fun.
yeah, I mean, things can happen with that vision board that you have no idea. Complete strangers. And we discussed this a little earlier, Laura Jane, about how strangers can come in and out of your life that you don't even know why they're there. But you need to pay attention to and engage with and be appreciative of different people that come in and out of your life that may leave a gift that they may not even be there, but maybe a month or two or a year or two. And that's okay because they have gifts for you and you have gifts for them that help move you to another stage in your life. And that happened a lot in my case, or I wouldn't be sitting here today because I had to have connections to certain people to get where I needed to be back home with my children, with my family. Even my family, when they would have gatherings, they would always have a chair open for me. It was an empty chair, but it had my picture in it. So that was their vision. And they had me at every holiday, every funeral, every wedding, every shower. I was present. And so if you have somebody that's not in your life right now and you want them to be in your life because maybe you had a disagreement with them, maybe there's somebody in your family that, you had a dispute with that now you're ready to reconcile, start putting them at your table, start putting them in your home, start putting them in your life even if it's with a picture, even if it's with an empty chair, visualize that. And so your vision board doesn't just have to be on paper or something you created. It can be, you can use any kind of material to make that happen.
It's so, I mean, so much wisdom, So sitting here, we started talking about how we just get rid of those bars around
Yes.
us, how we free ourselves from the cages we've stuck ourselves in. And so we've kind of talked a little bit about gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
Can I be thankful for the position I'm in right now? We've talked about walking back was my words for it, but where did this come from? How do I change it?
Mm-hmm.
How far back in my life do I go? Was it my example from my mother? Was it example, or was it something that came from an earlier marriage or something? So how do I find out how I got here? And then how do I fight my way out?
Mm-hmm.
How do I let go of this bar? And your bar could be different than mine. We all have different things that hold us back. Mine was the fear of being unliked for so long. And it's because I didn't like myself.
Right.
And so, how do I free those or open or let go of those bars that I have myself put in my way? Some to keep people out, some to keep me in.
Mm-hmm.
But you've done this, and somehow you survived 36 years of
Right.
being locked up. Sure, I'm sure you had some anger and some frustration, but you didn't just complain. You
No.
used it to change your life.
Yes.
And those emotions tell us something's not right.
Right.
And they give you permission to change it. It's your job to figure out how.
So I looked around in my environment to see what is it that I would enjoy doing that they have to offer me that I'm not utilizing, I'm not taking advantage of. So while I was there, I became a fitness trainer because I like to work out. I like to look good. Um, and I started thinking, you know what? There's other women in here that would like to look good, that might help their self-esteem, help their self-worth. And it actually did. So we started a program called BLAST, Better Living Awareness Support Team. And so I got certified in all of that. So I found things that I enjoyed doing, that I liked to do. I looked around and I grabbed a hold of those things and made it happen for me. And it gave me purpose. And speaking of purpose, there were so many gifts and blessings in this 36 years of incarceration that I walked away with because I did find my purpose. And my purpose was in helping others. I found when I was able to help others that I was helping myself feel better about who I was, and seeing the joy on their faces when I would help them with legal papers to help them go home, but yet I was still stuck. It joy and happiness and love, the right kind of love, is all positive energy that just fills you up and makes you want to get up and breathe every day, makes you want to say, oh my gosh, what does today have in store for me? What is it I can grab a hold of and fill that part of me that I feel is empty right now? Reach out and help others, because you'd be surprised. And that's, Laura Jane, that's what you do every day. With what you do is you help people become better than what they are in such a great way. And I thank you for what you do to bring that about for people.
I am like you. I just want to be a beacon of hope that, yeah, shit happens. Yeah, life goes on, but I can use that. I'm going
Yes.
to be, if I have a really shitty life, I'm going to be the mushroom. It's like figure out how you can grow through it. So, Judy, it's really been, you're a great example for a lot of people. And I just really thank you for being on the show. But I would love you to share your book with our friend and the vision that you have for that and going forward. And if someone wanted to get a hold of you, how would they do that?
My book is When the Light Finds Us, From a Life Sentence to a Life Transformed. And they can find it in all major bookstores and on Amazon. We're talking Barnes & Noble, Target. I also have a website you can go to at www.judyhenderson.com. And it has been a joy because through my incarceration, I did find the light. And I want everybody to find the light, however, whatever means it is that you have within your power. And we all have the power to do it. So there's no excuses, ladies, none whatsoever. And we can do this and we can become powerful, great women that's very happy. And we can pass that on generation after generation. And that be our legacy. Teach our children how to do that.
And if each of us just make it up one step, just think in a few generations how much more enlightened the world will be.
Yes.
By giving our children and their children the examples of how to set yourself free.
Correct. I love being free like a bird.
Yes, we do not have to stay in our cage. So thank you, Judy, so much for joining us today. Friend Judy and I are not medical or mental licensed professionals. We're here for entertainment. People that have experienced some rough roads and want to help shine a light on yours to get you through your path a little bit safer. Thank you for joining and stay tuned for the next episode.
Are you tired of waking up exhausted? You are not alone. If you're looking to take your life back, let's start with the simple step of adjusting your self-talk. Stay tuned for the next episode with your host, Lara Jane. Remember to follow the show so you don't miss the next simple step that you can use to feel more confident. And please leave an honest review.